This is our second Greta Garbo interview, made possible by the wonders of AI, or artificial intelligence. The voice you will be hearing is a clone made directly from a recording of Garbo's voice. The text of her words is a different matter. Greta was known for refusing all interview requests, but early in her career at MGM, in the mid and late 1920s, she acceded to the studio's request to sit for a few questions by the fan magazines of the day. This situation did not last very long. Once Garbo felt secure enough in her career, she refused all efforts to interview her. The comments you will hear from Miss Garbo are in fact the actual words that were quoted from her in the printed interview. The piece was called The Swedish Sphinx Speaks by Ralph Wheelwright. This interview was published in the September 1929 issue of Screenland Magazine. We have not invented any responses or otherwise put words into her mouth. I hope you will like it.
I hated talking pictures when they first came out. They screeched and scratched. They were neither of the stage nor screen, just monstrous nightmares. I thought to myself, if I have to appear in anything like that, I ought to go home to Sweden and stay there. Now, I am bored to death when I see a silent picture. It seems that something is lacking. Life is gone when the players fail to speak their lines. Yes, you might say I am sold on the talkies. Since I have been in Europe, wonderful strides have been made technically. They are so far beyond the experimental stage that anyone unwilling to recognize their superiority to silent pictures is either hopelessly old-fashioned or plain stubborn. For myself, I have heard and read much of the terrible Garbo accent that was supposed to have sent me back home to retire. It may interest some of my sympathizers to know that I signed a new long-term contract with MGM just a few days before I sailed on my vacation trip, and that filming Anna Christie was already in mind at that time. I suppose I have something of an accent, but I do not notice it. It seems to me that I speak pretty fair English, especially considering the way I have heard English spoken by many others. At any rate, I am not afraid of the talkies, and can scarcely wait to get working on the Eugene O'Neill play. I worship the part, and wish I could do it now, instead of having to make another picture first. I am really tired of doing the same old thing over and over again. To me, it will be like escaping binding fetters, to be able to speak my lines, to live my parts more naturally and more expressively. I do not know how my voice will record, since I have made no tests, and do not intend to make any until I have my part to play. I am not taking voice culture or staying up nights practicing Shakespeare. I will speak naturally, and as I feel the lines should be spoken, just as I play any character now. If I cannot play a role naturally and without artificial devices, I cannot give a sincere performance. When I was in Europe, looking back toward America, I was able to obtain a different perspective upon motion pictures. All the more, I realized that whatever fame goes with stardom is quite impersonal. The public likes or dislikes a player solely upon what it sees of the player on the screen. I do not think a star's private life, exposed in intimate detail, serves any other purpose than to satisfy curiosity. I am just a human being, like anyone else. I resent prying into my personal affairs just as much as anyone in any other station or position rightfully resists similar intrusions. I realize, of course, that by placing myself before the public on the screen, I invite the attention of the curious. But after all, My private life is all I have left to myself, and I feel I am entitled to guard it jealously. I do not want to live like a fish in an aquarium, and I suffer no delusions that my opinions on any subject are of any particular interest or concern to the public. I remember just before I went on my vacation that someone wanted me to write an article giving advice to girls on how to break into pictures. Who am I to give any such advice? What could I say that would help any beginner to get a start? Marriage is another question that constantly springs from the lips of interviewers. When filming The Single Standard, I especially liked the scenes we filmed on location aboard a yacht. I swam and threw pieces of my tuna fish sandwich to the seagulls. By sunset, we arrived at the San Pedro breakwater, and I couldn't help asking, "Is that home?" When told that it was, I couldn't help saying, "Can't we do some retakes?"